Hey guys, welcome back. This is Nightwolf53 back here again with another what if. Sorry I've been out. I've had work and burnout, so I could not do much at all. So the Fania part 2 is coming along, aka I haven't even started because of my sin of sloth. Yes, I am the king, but I'll get right on it whenever I can. Yes, someone suggested this in the comments. Basically, a SCP deku. So, I do not have an SCP number for deku, unless I could easily make one up. But I'm gonna let y'all choose that. An SCP number for deku. I already have his code name. So, let us get into this vati. We start off in a world. A world with, well, a bygone before quirks. This world was very normal to ours. The only difference being that there were these daily incidents of people being murdered and strange happenings. But it was always simplified out and seemed usual. A crazed gunman goes wild in a bank or in a school, and it's usually ending up in arrest. Or a fire breaks out on the Californian coast. But amidst it all, the truth was never really revealed to the public. As we get to it, their scenes look like it would have been done by what they thought they heard, but really, those weren't the bodies. They were just fakes. As this foundation that covered up these anomalous entities were called the SCP Foundation. Serve, Contain, Protect. These people were here to protect the people of this world from anomalies in our world, and testing them out so that they can have better measurements against these anomalies. We'll start off in America. And yes, a Deku is American. Deku is going to be American. Because America. But yes, as Izuku, I'm gonna say it is. Ugh. So how we're gonna get to quirks is going to be something destructive happens. So, by year standpoint, it is. Ugh. So I'm going back. I'm gonna say 4000 AD. No, not 8. Yeah, yeah, AC. No, 80. Yeah, 4000 AD. And technology is like ours. So yeah. So as this boy Izuku is born into a normal life, but his life was not as normal as you would suspect. He is born in a hospital, of course, but after a few years, he learns that his family is in a downward spiral. At the young age of 4, his father left, and at the ripe old age of 10, his mother passed away. When he finally got into high school around age 18, he finally lost his house. His friend always saw him with clothes on, never looking new, but somehow washed. This boy being a man named Michael. I'll just call him that because I don't want to get Koski. He's going to be in the new age. So as Michael and Izuku were, well, quote unquote, like Bakugo and Deku. But the high school years were a bit different. Since Izuku never had a phone to really be on like the other kids, he was bullied for it. And the teacher just shied away because, well, Michael was on the football team. And their team, they were really respectful of their football. Football being football in American, not soccer or football for any Europeans or anyone else. Because of that, it was very popular, and the other kids joined in with him. Izuku was usually went to an alley beaten up and scarred, and it was like this for the most of his senior year. Until one day in December, a cold winter's day, near site, I want to say 15 or 21. Yeah, near site 8 held a doctor named, I'm going to say, Dr. Ray Unsteiger. She was a medical doctor, and because she was ordered by the Russian government to go into these facilities and take some DNA samples. From this one, they ordered her to take DNA from SCP-14716. An SCP, yes, I made up. SCP-953 and SCP-166, and I could not find the SCP number, but the Immortal Man. So as this doctor took those blood samples, she was caught red-handed on her way out. I was running through the alleys of, I'm gonna say, New York, yes. I was running through the streets of New York. She was cornered, but saw a young host. So as the host was sleeping, she stabbed all the needles into him and injected, and threw the needles over the wall as they finally caught up to her. As the boy was still there, unfazed, but he felt something that night. Stop there, Miss Ray Unsteiger. Yes. It seems you've caught me then. We're taking you about to Site 8. As they check her for the blood samples and they don't find anything on her whenever they got back. Where are those blood samples at, Ray Unsteiger? I don't know what you're talking about, Miss Bright. I never had any. Yes, you did. We have video camera footage of you stealing these blood samples. Where are they? I don't know what you mean. As the questioning did lead on to her being a D-class personnel, which was then killed by one of the SCPs in further testing. As we cut back to the young boy Izuku, as waking up in the morning, he felt different. Almost like something was a bit off. As he got up, he went out onto the streets of New York, and strange things happened. Yes, strange things happened to boy Izuku. For some reason, strange girls would walk up to him and ask him in a very aggressive demeanor on becoming his friend plus. And for all the boys that had girlfriends, even they were going to get jealous and wondering who this guy is. But getting close to him only meant the boys felt fear, an unknown fear. It is unknown why, but for some reason this boy gave off a tone of almost like a death-like sentence. So they backed away. As these boys moved away from Izuku, their girlfriend still stayed near him. Give me a sec. Alright, I'm back. There's just some dogs. But yes, the girls would act aggressive to Izuku. Not in the hostile demeanor, more as in the kinky demeanor, sexual demeanor. As Izuku would try to get away, as the girls would start to chase after him. And I mean a lot of girls. I'm not talking one or two, I'm talking over 30. As he would run through the streets of New York, he would get them off his trail and hide inside a corner. As the only thing he thought in his mind was hiding. He wanted to be. He didn't want them to find him. He just wished that he could find a way to look different so he could get away. And so it happened. As soon as he walked out, the girls didn't see him. Heck, no one knew who he was. He just looked like some blonde-haired boy. He looked completely different. As he walked through the streets, he just went to school normally. As he got to the entrance, he just went in and no problems. Well, almost no problems. The girls still looked at him in that demeanor, just it was a little bit less. They didn't chase him or go after him. They looked at him with like a heart eye almost. Like a very shaded heart eye, just like you cannot see it. As he would see Michael, as he would still have his green hair, which has not been changed too, from blonde to green, but no, green to blonde. And Michael would still notice, "Hey Izuku, you worthless rat. How about this? You want to play a fun game with your old friend?" Sure, Michael. What is it?" "How about this? Let's go onto the rooftop and play it." Okay. As they get up onto the rooftop, Michael would show Izuku something on the edge. Like, you see that, Izuku? What is it? Here, get up on the ledge cliff and I'll show you. Okay. I don't see it, Michael. As he is shoved off. As he looks behind, he sees Michael pushing him. With just that evil grin on his face. As soon as Izuku dropped, as he face planted straight into the freaking ground. As screams erupted. As soon the police and ambulance would get there. Not in time, as whenever everyone cleared away and the ambulance finally got there and went to the person, Izuku, he just got up. He cracked his neck back and what happened? As the paramedics are stunned. And it's like, kid, you just dropped off that building. You're not dead? Well, no. I feel just fine. Well, I think it'd be best to run some checks on you back at the hospital. As this is getting to the news, as someone that just dropped 10 stories is living. Their neck was snapped and they're still alive. As they're saying these now be transported back to a hospital in America. As he got to the hospital, he was met by one of the doctors and having given a blood sample. The blood did not seem that abnormal at first, showing normal DNA of a human. But as soon as the doctor took the blood, the syringe was instantly shot at, making all the blood spill onto the ground. As tactical forces came in from the SCP Foundation to concern, oh, yeah, consure, oh my god, contain, yeah, concern, contain, protect, yeah. As they captured Izuku and started and put him in handcuffs. As he asked the people, "What's going on? What's going on around here?" He was like, "Shut up." They're all like, "Shut up. You're being contained and taken back to Site 8, which is located in, I don't know where it's located, so it's just gonna be called Site 8. Because I know they're gonna have like all their sites kind of put up in the Foundation type of thing, but I don't know. So as he is taken back to Site 8, and what they put him as SCP. He is going to be a Euclid class for right now. As that happens, Izuku is placed under the name The Experiment, being that whenever the blood samples were put in, it seemed that they all conjoined together to react with this human's blood, being an O type. No, not an O type. It is a triple Z0, a triple Z, triple O negative positive type. It is a very weird type of blood. Does it exist? No. Now it exists because of Izuku. During this testing, they found that the blood Izuku contained has the power to heal both humans and SCPs. Just a single drop is able to resurrect one of their men back from the dead. As they find this out, Dr. Bright is very, intrigued that this boy, which has been given blood, now is able to heal people. But remember, his hair is still blonde. If it changes back to green, SCP-1666's effect is going to go max. So, what they have found on him is 14716, 953, a little bit of 166, which they couldn't really read that much, and they did read it, it's just that they put it down like and the Immortal Man. So after a little while, Izuku was given a room, a number which y'all will choose. I will go through comments and choose the number y'all want and kind of like put it out like a post on like what number you want him to be. So, as Miss Bright walks in, SCP blank 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 blank, the experiment. What? That is you. That is your designation. Oh, well, okay. Tell us, SCP, the experiment. What is your name? Izuku Midoriya. Ah, yes. Your father left you, and your mother tragically died when you were 10. Who are you living with priorically? No one, ma'am. So tell us, Izuku, what powers do you know you have? Powers. Anomalies. Right now, you hold many anomalous DNA inside of you, which combined with your own blood gave you their powers. I don't know. Well, how about the blonde hair? In your profile, it shows green. Oh, yeah, I think I was able to change my hair or something, but here, let me change it back if I think I can. As he imagines himself with his green hair and it changes back. As Miss Bright starts to feel something rival up inside of her of love, aggressive love. As many of the other female staff around in a 50-meter radius is attracted to Deku. As the male staff being Dr. Wily and Dr. I want to say Ray, Dr. Ray. No, Raymond. Dr. Raymond. Dr. Wily and Dr. Raymond. See as Dr. Miss Dr. Bright's eyes turn into hearts and see that the security guards near the door, one of them has left. Miss Bright has left, and multiple girls are coming into Izuku's containment cell. As over the intercoms, they are trying to yell at him to please do not go into the containment. We do not know of its anomalous properties. As they bust through the door with, well, Miss Bright's containment key. As they go near him, they see on the cameras as most of the women are going in there, but they call in more backup to get them all out. As they finally move them out of a 50-meter radius of Izuku. What was that? I think that might have been the DNA of SCP-166. Damn it. Well, it's going to be hard either way to talk to him. Izuku, are you alright in there? Or SCP, are you alright in there? Yeah, just a bit wild up. Just, what happened? I think that might have been the blood of one of the SCPs. What happened? What do you mean it was one of the blood? Well, it seems the person that took blood of those SCPs, they must have stuck it into you while they were escaping. Meaning that you are now one of our SCPs. You'll be contained here for, well, ever. But you do have improvement to move up to a safe class rank. What's a safe class? Well, right now, due to your unknown properties, we have given you the site number, this number, which y'all will give them, and a rank of Euclid. Safe being that you're really not threatening and you won't cause much harm. Euclid meaning unknown properties and need to still be studied. And Keter class, which if you basically be bad about it, will move you up to that, dangerous, and you will be put under harsh containment cells. Okay, Mr. Wiley. Dr. Wiley. Okay, Mr. Wiley. Well, what is it you need to know? Would you like to sit down for a talk? Sure. Alright. Dr. Raymond, go in there and take these board with you, which has a lot of questions on it. Alright, sir. As they called in for authorization to have their first experiment with SCP blank 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 Izuku. As Dr. Raymond goes in there. So, Izuku, it is nice to meet you. It is nice to meet you too. As they go in to shake hands, as whenever they touch, Dr. Raymond is filled with this fear. Almost. Yeah, he's filled with a fear that at any second this kid could kill him. And he's filled with it. Like, what is this? Are you okay, Dr. Raymond? Yeah. As they break contact and he still feels that really stricken killing intention, but for some reason it's not him. So, let us get down to what we're talking. So, Izuku? Yes. Tell us, what do you know of the SCP Foundation? Nothing. It's the first time hearing about you guys. Alright. What do you know about your anomalous powers? Well, from what I've seen I can change my hair, I think? Or I guess what I look like to a point maybe, but I don't know what the full extent. If it's any of the SCP blood that person gave me, then I don't know what my powers are. I just know what I've done so far. And it seems like aphrodisiac might be one of them. Aphrodisiac, huh? So like SCP-166. Alright. What are your intentions for human life? I don't really care. Not as in like I don't care for humans. It's just that I don't care like who you are. I just want to live my life how it is. Not much, and since being brought here, I guess it's nice. I'm not sleeping in alleys, so it's a good change of pace. And tell us, during your incident with your death, it seems you have immortality. I guess I do. Well, that is all the questions that we need. That a personal question. We have found that your blood has a healing factor to it, meaning that a single drop of your blood, or no, not a single drop, a cup of blood from you can bring someone back from the dead. What? My blood can bring people back? Yeah, oh, yes, it can. Your blood is able to bring back people from their death. Well, that's great. That'd be a big help as well. But yeah, that sounds like my blood would be a great help in your facility. Yes, with all the deaths and stuff, that'd be great help. Since we can't just replace them all like that. But yes, how about this for a personal question? Are you willing to cooperate with the SCP Foundation? Uh, sure. I don't mind it at all. I just want to be kind of kept fed well. I never had that normal kid life. Well, I hope to have more conversations and experimentations with you, Zuko. Yes, it was very nice, Mr. Raymond. as Mr. Raymond walks out and talks to Dr. Wiley. So, Mr. Raymond, how was the questioning going? Well, it went quite well. Well, at first it didn't. Was I didn't see any aggression. Tell me what happened. Well, when we shook hands, there was a sudden fear of death looming over me. Almost like he wanted to take my soul almost, but he didn't want to. I guess that's just part of being an SCP. It seems almost like it draws that SCP-166's blood mutated a bit with his, becoming a bit more dangerous. How you can tell? Well, with the aphrodisiac, he kind of threatens off men as well, meaning that he doesn't let men come near him, but he can let women come near him. So it's like the opposite effect. I'll make sure to keep this under wrap and send it to the O5 Council. I'll walkie-talkie the O5 Council and give Izuku his report. SCP, yeah, number whatever y'all give him, Izuku. That will be all for today. From what we see, that you shall be still contained in a Euclid class state, but we are, due to your willing to cooperate a little bit, it seems that we shall give you an item of your choosing. What item would you like of your choosing? How about a phone? A phone? Yes, a phone. Alright, a phone will be standard to you. Do you have a specific type you would like? Look, I don't care how y'all are going to hear this, either Apple or Android. I'm an Android user only because it's cheap and easy and it's also really cool. So I just found it easy. How about a Samsung 21? Alright then. That shall be stated to you with its own case. Okay. As the phone was put in order and was gotten to Izuku in about a week. In that time, multiple cups of blood have been drained from Izuku, being that they could have a healing factor to them. Some minor scratches need about 1 cup, while an entire pint, being a quart, can bring someone back. So, once Izuku got his phone, he finally saw the screen light up. Wow, so this is a phone. I can't wait to see what's on it. As that's it. That is the end of part 1 of What If Izuku Was an SCP. Now, y'all will give him a number, and I already have the ship. Well, ships. It's going to be SCP-1471 and 682. Now, y'all might not know what SCP-14716 is. It is an SCP I made up. It is called Puru, or Puru. It is from the game Changed. You know that laxative guy? Or, not laxative, latex guy. He's like a furry. So, what it is that he can morph into a furry. So then he can go ahead, and it's not like normal latex, it's like actual like fur and stuff, because it's mutating with this other DNA of other SCPs, so it's going to combine with it, so then can both turn from, so his fur is kind of, fireproof. And yeah, that's kind of it. Like if you want to, sub if you want, and sorry for being late.